just a move. I've been sober for just over 2 years, something like that. And I used to smoke weed every day, you know, because the federal probation and everything, I get drug tested. And so what?
It has standard drug testing.
Federal probation does. I get like piss tested on a not regular schedule. Like he can just pop in and be like piss in a cup, that sort of thing. Yeah. So also no alcohol, no. I can't leave like my quadrant of my state without like permission from him, like asking first. So I can't even visit my family without permission. It's a bunch of shit like that. But anyway, I think I want to watch Back to School. I want to see that movie because that scene with Kinnison is so fucking good. I love that with Rodney Dangerfield. He's giving the girl a hard time. He's like, Professor, leave her alone. She's just a kid. He's like, Mr. Helper, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion. It's so fucking good. Starts talking about, let's talk about, and he brings up fucking Korea, and that hits home. He's just like, well, we should have gone in there. We should have bombed those commie bastards back to their rice paddies.
Do you guys know who Craig Gass is? Craig Gass does the only Sam Kinison impersonation. It is, if you're Googling it right now, I wonder if you can use it. It's so good. I mean, it's and Craig's a comic and he does voices, but he does voices like you don't expect people to do. Mm-hmm. Like one night he did Gene Hackman. I'm like, who does Gene Hackman? It's such a non-distinct voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd hear it. I like Hackman a lot.
Hackman, but his Kinnison is like, because his Kinnison scream was so raw but controlled. Like it was so perfect. It was so. I remember for me, if I'm going to tell, for me, the three comedy people who I would say influenced me the most would be Kinnison, because he's the first guy I remember thinking, can we say that shit? Mm-hmm. People are laughing. Like, we can say this? Cosby, pre-rape.
No such thing.
Yeah. That's true. Pre-known rape? Pre-convicted rape?
Your knowledge of rape.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah, before we knew.
So, but his ability to sit on a stool, not swear, not really, not really raise his voice, and still get everybody
loved him
to lean in, and you couldn't stop watching his storytelling ability. But the third and three, I guess, is Carlin.
I was about to say Carlin. Yeah, I was hoping that was your third one. Yeah, Carlin's probably my favorite. And then my other stuff is modern, so I won't even mention it. It's the two or three that everybody goes to.
Who are your guys? Like Chappelle and those guys?
I like Chappelle a lot, but not for stand-up as much as, just everything he's done. Like the Chappelle show was so monumental. But I like Louis C.K. a lot. Like some of his earlier stuff, I feel like here's the problem with all comics, in my opinion. No, not you, of course. But every comedian goes through that chicken finger eating stage, right? Where they're spending everything they have to come up with the set, the one that will actually make people laugh every time, where they're rolling on the fucking floor, where they can make $1 million, where they can get a TV deal even. Now they've made it. Now, once you make it, their second act is hard because you don't have another lifetime. You got to come up with that second act in the next 2 years. Yeah. If it's 3 years, we've forgotten all about the first
30 years of life. The second set is based on the life between the first and second set.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And I think that a very unique group of guys are able to keep going. And it's often, in my opinion, not only talent-based, but about the subject matter that they write about. Like if you like, and Dave Chappelle's really good about this. I think all of his shit's really funny because, I mean, he's talking about the juicy sommelier stuff, like because he stays topical with like current events and makes fun of that shit. He doesn't have to live a whole new life of experiences to have some more shit to make fun of and to have a good time with. And some comics struggle with that. I don't know, but I like Kinnison a lot, and I really enjoyed like just watching how manic he was because no one did that. Andy Kaufman maybe, but
Yeah.
it was on a different wavelength with Andy Kaufman. Like he
Hey,
was just he
Kyle,
was another kind of human being.
let me offer one addendum to what you said. And it's not even an addendum. It's a completely different point of view. I would say this. I would say that may be true for the second album, because sometimes people feel a need to rush the second album. Right? But if you stay in the game long enough, if you put in your 10,000 hours, it's like, you look at, you know why there's so many people trying stand up right now? Because there's so many people in the game right now who have put in their 10,000 hours and who are making it look easier than it is. Okay. And so I would tell you that maybe that second album, because people rush it, but in my experience, like, people get exponentially better between those 14th and 20th years. Like, when you, those first 14 years or whatever, if you're in the game those last 6 years, all the wheels are on the tracks. It's just all the wheels are on the tracks because you have done it. Look, man, you know, I don't even call it confident when I walk on stage. There's nothing you can show me that I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of experience.
Right.
And like,
so that's not,
and there's different kinds of entertainers. Don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah, sure.
Did you see Mike Tyson's one-man show on HBO?
No, that sounds funny.
That man's not a comedian.
No,
like, you don't even think of him as being necessarily bright or creatively minded. I was entertained, though. That's the word I would use. I was entertained by his show because, and he doesn't have a second one in him. He's got one because he blew the whole life experience right then and there. And maybe he had a ghostwriter helping him form thoughts and maybe putting a little twist on this and that like makes it, you know, that, that's funny the way he put it there. But say what you want. That guy is is an entertainer. Like he did an amazing job. And there are some guys who can walk up there like with no material really whatsoever and just be funny. I'm an easy laugh in a comedy club. Like,
oh, good. Come to the show in Florida.
I'm an easy laugh. Like I remember watching, who's the gentleman who's like he has something wrong with him. He's the handicapped comic. Is
Josh
it Blue?
Josh
yeah.
Blue.
I watched Josh Blue in Atlanta, and I watched him throw a fucking Karen out, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Watching
He's funny, dude.
He was funny.
Oh, he threw someone out.
I can't remember.
He threw a fit on stage. Okay, he threw someone out who was being.
I can't remember how he did it, but he made some kind of a joke about like, I'm handicapped, but you're retarded or something like that, and it just brought the fucking house down. Like at least I have an excuse for being like embarrassing looking. Like you're just humiliating yourself on the day. And she was a cunt we were outside. Like there was a line backed around the building to get into Josh Blue's show, and he was the main guy. He was headlining, and you had to sit through like some nonsense. And one guy stormed the stage and tried one guy wasn't scheduled. He just ran onto the stage and started fucking telling jokes.
What?
Like he just want like I guess he couldn't get scheduled.
It doesn't matter what happens. I've seen it before. You can't surprise me.
I don't know the name of the club, but it was one of the major clubs in Atlanta. This has been 8, 9, 10 years ago now. I remember I was in East Atlanta, so it had to have been within 45 minutes of East Atlanta. I wouldn't have driven much further. But this guy stormed the stage. And it was very awkward. It was like you know, everybody's got the announcer comes in. He's like, all right, I want you guys to give a good welcome to Jimmy Crack Corn. He's coming out of Alabama tonight. He's got a great set for you guys. You may have seen him on this and that and the other, and give him a warm welcome. Well, that didn't happen. This Asian guy just is on the stage all of a sudden. He's like, yo, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna make this quick and he was kind of funny. Like it was clear that he wasn't just a Yahoo, just like being silly. Like he was a guy who wanted to be a comedian but couldn't get booked. And he just wanted to make I know in his heart of hearts, he's hoping like they'll take notice. Someone will take notice here tonight. But it was a wild fucking night because that Karen, even when we were outside in the line wrapped around the building, I remember looking at my girlfriend and being like, she's going to be a problem. That woman right there is going to be a problem.
Was she like wasted or just an
Yeah,
unpleasant
she was-
person?
I was thinking the same thing.
We all know this archetype of female. She is a 38-year-old blonde chick with big tits who's 30 pounds overweight, far too confident in her own skin, and way too loud. She's so loud that we can all hear her drunk conversation 50 feet away.
15 years ago, we all put up with her because she was hot and 25.
Yes.
Not
we used
anymore.
to put up with this
Exactly.
shit, and now no longer. And it was, and sure enough, we're all sitting in there having cocktails or whatever, and she was just